Okay, let's dive right in. If you're a US expat, you've probably spent a ton of time figuring out your federal taxes with the IRS. But there's a hidden trap out there that can cost you thousands, maybe even tens of thousands of dollars, and it has nothing to do with that. We're talking about state taxes, and today, we're going to break down how you can escape their surprisingly long reach. So picture this. You've landed a dream assignment in Singapore. You've been living there, working there for a year and a half. You think you've got all your tax stuff handled. Then this official-looking envelope shows up. It's from your old state, and trust me, it's not a friendly hello. And just like that, you're looking at a bill for $18,500. You're thinking, how is this even possible? I haven't lived there in ages. Well, this is the exact financial gut punch that blindsides so many US expats. And it all comes down to one little, deeply misunderstood concept. So here's our game plan for today. We'll start with why this bill even shows up. Then we'll get into the absolutely crucial difference between residency and something called domicile. We'll name the states you really need to watch out for, show you exactly how to cut ties, and then wrap up with a pro tip for making a perfectly clean break. All right, let's get right to the heart of the problem. A lot of expats think that once they move overseas and qualify for federal breaks, like the foreign earned income exclusion, well, their state tax obligations just kind of melt away. And that assumption, it's a very, very costly mistake. See, here's the thing you have to understand. Your physical location is not the same as your legal tax home. So while you're enjoying life in Singapore, a state like California might still see you as one of its own. And that means they believe you're liable for taxes on your entire worldwide income. And that brings us to the single most important idea in this entire explainer. The reason states can do this is all because of the legal difference between just being a resident and something far more permanent, far stickier, your domicile. So what is domicile? It's your true, permanent, legal home. It's not just where you're living right now. It's the place you always intend to come back to. The thing is, your domicile sticks to you like Velcro. It doesn't just fall off when you move. You have to actively and deliberately rip it off and attach a new one somewhere else. And this chart just lays it out perfectly. For your federal taxes, residency is often just a numbers game, right? You're out of the country long enough, you pass a simple day count test. But state domicile? Totally different animal. It's based on your intent. States look at a whole bunch of facts and circumstances to figure out where your true home is. It is literally designed to be hard to lose. Okay, now this is where your personal risk comes into play, because your exposure to this tax trap really depends on which state you're leaving. Some states make it super easy, while others, well, they are notoriously aggressive about hunting down tax money from people who've left. Let's break them down. If you're from a state with no income tax, think Florida, Nevada, Texas, you're probably in the clear. But if your last US address was in California, Virginia, New Mexico, South Carolina, or New York, you need to pay very close attention. These are the states with those sticky domicile laws, and they are known for coming after expats. Let's zoom in on the biggest one, California. The main reason a California tax bill is such a shock is because the state simply does not recognize the foreign earned income exclusion. This is the absolute key to why those tax bills get so big so fast. Just look at this breakdown. On your federal return, you get to exclude a huge chunk of your foreign salary, leaving just a little bit to be taxed. But California looks at that and says, nope, we don't care about that exclusion. They want to tax you on the full $150,000. And that huge difference is what creates that massive, unexpected bill. Virginia has its own special kind of trap. Their law is incredibly specific and kind of wild. To break your Virginia domicile, you can't just move to London or Tokyo. You have to first establish domicile in another US state. If you go straight from Virginia to another country, Virginia will argue you're still one of theirs, just living abroad temporarily, and they'll tax your worldwide income. Okay, enough about the problems. Let's talk solutions. Because you can absolutely fight this, but it's not going to happen by itself. It requires a proactive, documented plan to prove with overwhelming evidence that you have permanently, and I mean permanently, left your old state. Here is your checklist for cutting those ties. This is all about getting rid of the little things that signal you intend to come back. Surrender that driver's license. Get yourself off the voter rolls. Close your local bank accounts. Sell your house. Get rid of those club memberships. Every single one of these is a thread connecting you back to that state, and you need to cut them all. Now, severing old ties is only half the job. You also have to prove you're building a new permanent home somewhere else. So get a local driver's license, sign a long-term lease, open local bank accounts, get a long-term visa. You're creating a crystal clear paper trail that shows your life is now centered in this new country. All right, now for the expert level move. If you have the time to plan ahead, there is a nearly foolproof way to avoid this entire headache. It just involves a smart transitional move before you even get on that international flight. Here's how it works. Before you move abroad, you first move from your high-tax state, let's say California, to a no-tax state like Nevada. You actually live there for 6 months to a year, and you properly establish domicile. You get the Nevada license, you register to vote, you do the whole checklist. Then you move from Nevada to your foreign assignment. Your domicile is now cleanly and clearly in a state that has no income tax. Problem solved. So if you only remember one thing from all of this, let it be this. Changing your domicile is an active process. It is not passive. Simply moving away is never, ever enough. You have to take clear, deliberate, documented steps to prove you have left for good. And hey, one final really important point. Even after you've successfully broken domicile, if you still earn income from that old state, like say rent from a condo you decided to keep, you will still have to file a non-resident tax return and pay tax on that specific income. Cutting your personal ties doesn't cut your tax ties to money that's generated there. So that leaves us with one last question for you to think about. When you look at your own life, your driver's license, where you're registered to vote, where your bank accounts are, can you say with 100% certainty that you've cut the cord? Or is there still a thread an aggressive state could start pulling on?